We are part of the Fired Up Sports network of shows. Please check out other Fired Up Sports Network podcasts like the P-Lot Pod, Water Cooler Talk, Bell Smashers, Philly Sports Love and Pain, Drunk on Broad, Beer Battered Sports, and the Fired Up Sports Show, which are available on all major podcasting hosting sites and social media. Also, check out Mark Ramos' Roundup on firedupsports.com, which breaks down the happenings going on with all your favorite local teams.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Beer Battered Sports Podcast, the podcast created by sports fans for sports fans, because we believe that we are the most qualified people to talk about your favorite teams. My name is Isaac. I'm one of your co-hosts.
I'm 40.
And I know him.
I was about to say, we don't do awkward pauses on this show.
I was
Anyway,
waiting for him.
welcome to
left.
Yeah, you're good, man. Welcome to episode 94, everybody. Happy holidays. Happy Christmas to everyone who celebrates. Happy Hanukkah, which was a couple weeks ago, to everyone who celebrates that too. And yeah, welcome to the penultimate show of the year for us. It's been a fun year of Beer Battered Sports. A lot of things have happened, and we've only got about two more shows. There we go. With that being said, welcome to episode 94. Lots to talk about today. We're going to get into all the action in the NFL. I know we have some interesting words to say about certain teams who underperformed. We got to talk about Ja Morant's return to the NBA last night, but we're going to start with something that I want to talk about real quick over in the world of baseball. And I'm doing this specifically for a buddy of mine who watches the show for the baseball part. I know you're watching, Josh. It's for you. We got to talk about a certain MLB analyst's take on Shohei Ohtani that has rubbed a lot of fans, specifically Dodgers fans, the wrong way.
Ooh.
So preface this. If you've watched the show long enough, you know that we usually try to, one of the common themes, more so from Kylie than the rest of us, but you know, Kylie's not wrong. One of the themes has been that we're not big fans of modern sports media for a variety of reasons. Again, most of this is from Kylie's perspective, and she's not wrong. An example of this is what Ben Verlander said. So Ben Verlander, he's an analyst for Major League Baseball on Fox Sports, and he's the host of the Flippin' Bats podcast. And he said earlier this week he was doing an analysis on the Shohei Ohtani signing. Now, I think we can all agree that Shohei Ohtani joining the Dodgers is huge for that organization. Me personally, I think, you know, they actually have to win a World Series for me to be convinced, because they failed to do that with a lot of their big name free agents. But we all know that it is a very impressive signing. Ben Verlander said on his show, I think this is the most historically significant signing and probably the greatest signing, the most impactful that the Dodgers have ever made. Now, I want you guys to think about that quote real quick and ask yourselves this. The most historically significant signing in Dodgers history. Shohei Ohtani. The history of the Los Angeles, also the Brooklyn Dodgers, the most historically important signing. Who are we forgetting? Who are we forgetting here, Ben?
Who's Ben? I ain't Ben.
No, Ben Verlander.
I know what you're talking about.
Who is Ben Verlander forgetting?
For those of us who are not informed, fill us in who he's forgetting.
Well,
42. Wait.
Yeah.
42.
You only got it. Dude has the balls to go on his platform and say this is the most historically significant signing in Dodgers history, completely ignoring the fact that, back in 1948, they broke the color barrier and essentially brought baseball into the modern age by saying, you know what? Fuck all that racism bullshit. Let's bring in Jackie Robinson. And I know if you've researched the whole Jackie Robinson thing, the owner of the Dodgers at the time, or general manager Branch Rickey, kind of did it more as like a, hey, we could get some money if we get black folks to come to our games. Which, yeah, they were right, but it was still incredibly important. And
that was very disrespectful of me, because I forgot all about Jackie Robinson.
Yeah. I don't
know baseball, so I was like, I gotta really catch up on baseball history. But $700 million, though. Come on. I mean,
it's true. Is it the biggest one ever? Probably.
Come on, what's stopping something small like racism when a lot of money's on the table? You know, this is what's America really about? You know, just say that I'm trolling. Ben's obviously, if it's your job to know this, that's a pretty not insensitive, but
Kylie, you need to
not a great take.
Kylie, you need to not post stuff like that. If you didn't see, Kylie just commented Yamamoto to the Phillies. That's not confirmed. Stop, Kylie. Stop. Stop. No, he's going to be a Yankee. He has requested himself multiple signings to the Yankees. By the way, if you're watching, guys, Gnome is not the big baseball guy here, but we're going to get him into baseball. That is our goal, because once football's up, like, that's kind of what we do. So we're going to get him into baseball.
It's me crying because I don't want to get into baseball.
You will. Kylie needs to stop.
Baseball is not as boring as it looks on TV. It's very interesting, especially when you're at a game.
We will see. I only promise to try.
Trying is just half of it. Yeah, but Yoshi Yamamoto, at the moment, nothing's happened. Like Kylie said, I really hope he does sign with the Yankees. He seems to be inclined to sign with the Yankees. I know there was that whole drama of him having a meeting at Steve Cohen's house and then immediately going to the Yankees next, which I'm so sorry, 40. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. It's not worse.
But
I'm
anyway.
a Mets fan. Mets fan, if that's what you said.
It was. So where's the house divided here? Cool.
Yeah.
It's okay. I respect the Mets.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Really.
No, you don't.
I respect the Yankees too. So.
Yeah,
I do believe that.
They're cool. I mean.
Oh, jeez. I can hear the salt. They're cool.
Hey, I saw the Met when I was in New York City for New Year's last year. I saw the Met Stadium, which was cool. Kylie, okay, so before we move on to John Morant, I just have to say this. Kylie, you need to stop. Because there has been more talk of Yoshi Yamamoto joining the San Francisco Giants and the Phillies. I don't know where you're getting this from, all right? But you need to stop because it is literally down to the Yankees or I think the Mets is what he's looking at, but it mostly is leaning towards the Yankees. But you got to stop with the Philly stuff. Not every big free agent is coming to Philly, and I'm sorry, Kylie, that the Phillies haven't done jack shit this offseason. Most of the league hasn't. The Yankees, Dodgers, and surprisingly the Royals are the only teams that are actually signing big free agents, which, by the way, Royals, if you guys could get really good, my mom would appreciate that. Like, she would really appreciate you guys getting pretty good. And you're right. Driving by the stadium doesn't make you a Mets fan, but you can appreciate the architecture of the stadium.
Wait, I didn't drive by the stadium. That was Isaac that said that.
Yeah, that was me.
He knows.
40's
I've actually been inside the Mets stadium to watch Mets games, so I didn't just drive by the stadium.
40's been a Mets fan.
Yeah.
No, he's questioning you, Isaac. He's not questioning 40.
Okay, well, now Kylie's going to... Kylie, I could sue you for copyright violation if you don't use... Kylie, you better use fair use when you do that, or else I'll demonetize you. I swear. Anyway,
we're already beefing.
Yeah, probably
with other networks already.
So let's talk about NBA real quick because over in the NBA, Ja Morant has returned from his suspension. Just quick recap: Ja was suspended after being involved in several off-court controversies, most of them involving I think it was having he was flashing a gun on Instagram while in a nightclub or something like that. He returned last night against New Orleans on the road, was booed mercilessly every time that he had the ball, and yet was able to hit a buzzer beater and finish the game with, if I can find his stats, which the New York Post is not
34
showing.
points.
It was. He's finished with 34 points and a buzzer beater. Pretty much shut the haters up. Not bad at all.
Great script. Couldn't have done it any better if you were the NBA. I think they were down 30 points at halftime.
20, almost there, 24.
Yep. 24 points at halftime. Make a great comeback in that third quarter. And then, they called 12. They let Ja Morant be Ja Morant in the fourth quarter, and NBA just ran with it. Like, fuck, this guy's hot right now. Let's let him shoot.
He's controversial.
It's one of those situations where, and I'll be honest, I haven't paid a ton of attention to Ja Morant's situation, but it is one of those situations where you're like, okay, you guys served his time. I think the reason why a lot of fans kind of get this weird feeling about it is that, at the end of the day, it's not the worst. The reason he got suspended wasn't for the worst thing. There have been plenty of players in all sports who have done way worse and have gotten lighter punishments. I can tell you that much. And some who have done less worse and gotten even bigger punishments. Cough, cough, Calvin Ridley.
Cough, cough, Josh Gordon.
Yeah. I personally, I honestly, I've never had a serious problem with John Morant. I think my biggest issues with Memphis was Dylan Brooks, and I mean he's in Houston now, and so I could care less. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I'm happy for him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy for him too. I don't, like you said, I don't really think he did something like insanely wrong. Like, should he have been flashing guns on Instagram? Hell no.
No.
But at the end of the day, he is a very high-profiled athlete. So him having guns around him, or him having a gun that's owned in his name that's, legal, wouldn't surprise me at all, due to, the status of his lifestyle.
And Yoni's making a good point here. The fact that he lied about the gun thing first is why I'm still not cool with it, and that's fair.
Yeah, that's 100% fair.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
What was he said he like had a gun on like IG Live? Basically?
Yeah, so one was on he had two incidents actually. One was he flashed it in the nightclub like Isaac said, and then one he flashed on Instagram Live when his friend was like recording them singing a song or something.
But he wasn't doing anything. He just showed the gun basically on IG.
Yeah.
He literally just like flashed it.
Yeah.
Okay, because what I was gonna bring up was Damon Arnett. I don't know if you guys remember. This is a first round pick for the Raiders, one of those special Gruden picks.
Yeah.
Oh no! Refresh my memory. I know where this is going.
Overdrafted. Not that this matters, but incredibly overdrafted. Everyone knew it was like a fourth round quarter. Went in the first.
Yeah.
Threatened someone with a gun live. Like I'm not. But I don't know what the medium was, whether it was Instagram or not. But he threatened someone. He pointed a big ass assault, right? Not an assault. It was like an SMG or something at the camera and threatened someone, and that's the last the league heard. The NFL heard of him. So I was wondering. I'm thinking, okay, what's the difference here? But if the difference is he just had the gun, and because there's a difference between threatening someone and showing that you have the gun.
I think John.
Oh, go ahead, Isaac.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say he didn't threaten anybody. He just literally just flashed it, like just showing it off, like, yeah, I got a gun. Like, okay.
How long was he suspended?
26 games.
6 games.
26.
26 games.
You got to remember, this is an Adam Silver league. Like Adam Silver.
Okay, that's a little more than a slap on the wrist. I don't know about.
You got to remember, Adam Silver, the commissioner. He doesn't take shit from anybody. Remember, one of his first acts was he banned Donald Sterling for life because he found out that he was saying racist shit about his players, and he was just like, "Yep, you're gone." Like Adam Silver doesn't play around with that, and I kind of respect him. I respect him for that.
Look at Draymond. Draymond's suspended indefinitely.
That too. We got to talk about that. So if you guys didn't see this, Draymond Green did a Draymond thing and swung at who did he
Nurkic,
say?
Yusuf Nurkic.
Yusuf Nurkic. He swung at Yusuf Nurkic like he was pretending he was getting like held, and then he just went woo and like hit him in the face. That's not even the most egregious thing he's done this year. Him choking out Rudy Gobert was way more egregious. But somebody.
This is one thing. Draymond, I watched Draymond's press conference after that, and I like what he said because he is such a upfront guy. He said that I actually apologized to Nurkic after it because I didn't mean to do that. Like, he was really trying to show he was trying to exaggerate and, basically flop and show the rest like, Leo, he's grabbed me. It just so happened that when he swung, the height of Nurkic and the height of his swing just so happened. Like, the way that Nurkic ducked when he was swinging, it just so happened to hit him in his face. And he actually apologized for it. He said if he meant to do it, he wouldn't have apologized. He said, did y'all ever see me apologize to Gobert? Because he meant to do that. He never apologized to Gobert. And when he said
that is so based.
When he said that, I was like, he has a great point. Like, I never saw him apologize to Gobert,
Yoni is making an interesting point in the comments here. He says each time it's a European big man with Draymond, it is.
It's something Gobert, about those Europeans. They piss him the fuck off.
He doesn't like those European players coming into the league.
They piss him the fuck off.
I'll say this much on Draymond. I appreciate the passion. He gives me big, slightly more violent Dennis Rodman vibes. But I do think a suspension is kind of warranted because it has gotten to the point where it's like every time he's on the court, you're wondering, oh boy, who's Draymond going to sucker punch for some reason? And it could also cost his team. Because remember, during the 2016 finals, he and LeBron got into that spat and he like stomped on LeBron or something and got suspended. And well, without him, his defensive presence on the court, LeBron was like, all right, we can pick these guys apart. So at the end of the day, it's like he does bring that aggressive edge to the Warriors, which makes them such a dangerous team. But if he's not able to contain that aggression, that's where the problem is. Dennis Rodman had to contain his aggression when he was playing with Chicago, which led to a lot of off the court incidents, but fewer on court incidents. And as a result, he like really refined his skills there as a rebounder and a defensive presence for the Bulls. And I think Draymond could do the same thing. I mean, he's one of the best defensive players in the league. He's just so angry all the time, and it's
Passionate.
Passionate,
man.
I like that you brought up the Dennis Rodman, because I actually saw a thing the other day. Rasheed Wallace was saying that one of Draymond's best friends was the coach, like one of the assistant coaches or a trainer or something of the Bad Boy Pistons. So Draymond grew up around the Bad Boy Pistons because he was always with his best friend all the time. So like he watched those guys, practice, play, and all that stuff. And so Rasheed Wallace was like, it actually doesn't surprise me that he, plays like that, because that's what he, grew up watching and grew up seeing, from the Bad Boys to the, that 2000s team with Chauncey Billups and all of those guys, they all played the same. So
that's what he learned to do.
That's what he learned to do, and that's his play style.
It's always a Detroit thing. Speaking of Detroit, before we move on to the NFL, let's quickly probably mention that the Pistons have now lost 24 consecutive games and are bearing down on the 76ers record for most consecutive losses. So,
of course, it's the Sixers record.
Wingstop keeps taking away that. Wingstop's logo changes on their scorecard at the end of the night every night, because I think it might have been you, Isaac, that actually said that if they lose 30 straight, then they have to pay Wingstop back or something like that.
I don't recall saying it, but that's really funny, and I hope that I really hope that's the case.
If they lose 30 straight, then basically they have to pay Wingstop back for the endorsement that Wingstop gave them. It's supposedly in the contract and everything.
I love it.
And I'm sure a lot of managers and owners sign that contract because they're like, no fucking way we lose 30 straight.
Well, it's not even that they're tanking. It's that they're just really bad. Like, you look at the composition of the team, and there's just no one there. They have Cade Cunningham is the one star they've got who's consistent. Yeah. But other than that, it's just, and it's not even like a case of tanking. They're just bad.
Yeah.
I forgot one last thing before we move on to the NFL, and that is Christmas Day games. I know people won't really pay attention to the NBA Christmas Day games anymore because the NFL's kind of taken over. And shout out Gridiron Heights on Bleacher Report, who pointed that out in their latest episode about how the NFL's kind of supplanted the NBA's Christmas games. But if you're still interested in watching the NBA Christmas games, we've got Bucks Knicks at noon, Warriors Nuggets at 2:30, Celtics Lakers at 5. That's peak. Sixers Heat at 8, and if you're one of those people who gets drunk on Christmas and stays up, sheepishly raises hand, Mavs Suns at 10:30.
They should have put Lakers Celtics at 10:30.
I agree.
That's that right there is going to be the game of the day.
Yeah,
that's cool. Lakers Celtics is always a fun one. With that being said, let's move on over to our bread and butter, the NFL. Week 15 was an interesting week. Before we dive into it real quick, we should probably talk about a certain comment that kind of went around the NFL social circles by Rashard Mendenhall.
We talked about that?
Should we? Should we? You want to give the recap, Gnome, of what he said?
Yeah, sure. Let me pull it up real quick.
This was both really stupid and really funny when he said that. It was kind of like, did he say that? And then
I didn't think we were talking about this. Yeah, this is a. I'd like to point out that at the very least before this, I had a great respect for Rashard Mendenhall. I've been following him like when he goes on other podcasts and everything, like the Raw Room and talks. He's a very interesting speaker, and he just talks about the games he's been part of, and
truly,
especially when he gets into like the Steelers locker room. I always found that very interesting because he's been someone who's one of the more vocal. I don't want to say like whistleblowers. One of the more vocal people who described how Big Ben's impact on that locker room was, and I'll just leave it at that because it's for another day.
Yeah, it was
but Mendenhall basically
quite an impact.
tweeted quite an impact. Yeah. Mendenhall basically tweeted I'm sick of average white guys commenting on football. Y'all not even good at football. Can we please replace the Pro Bowl with an all black versus all white bowl so these cats can stop trying to teach me who's good at football? I'm better than your goat.
But look though,
The race bowl.
I think the funniest thing about that was JJ Watt's reply to it. I don't know if you guys saw JJ Watt's reply, but JJ Watt goes, "Yeah." He was basically like, "Go ahead, say it."
He said we'd get cooked at corner. Not gonna lie, nobody on our squad is covering Tyreek, and then the laughing emoji, which he is 1,000% correct about. I don't even know. Can't name a single white corner.
White corners don't exist. That's the thing. Like
the last white corner played for the New York Giants.
Seahorn, right?
I don't even know what the guy's name was.
I feel like it was Jason Seahorn.
Yep, and after he was getting burnt up, they're like, "Yeah, we can't do this anymore. This is just not."
Yeah, it's like the white corner era has officially ended at this point. No corner can cover Tyreek Hill. God forbid you put like a high school like which corners are white? High schoolers, college players?
Imagine when he, like, not even to throw race into it or anything like that, but speaking on Tyreek Hill, I mean, JJ Watt said it himself. There's no white corner that's covering that guy. Like you just said, Noam, a regular corner can't even cover this guy. But imagine him in high school when he saw a white guy lined up across him. I know he was probably just licking his chops, laughing, having a field day.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All I'm gonna say is
that guy could blink and he would be past him. He could be 10 yards back and be like, "Where'd he go?"
Mendenhall 100% said that just to be out of pocket, I believe. But it has led to a really interesting debate. I've seen people create all white and all black squads in Madden to put them against each other. I'm not going to make any comments here because I don't want to be out of pocket. All I'm going to say is that it would be interesting to see what happens.
Look, somebody on a podcast said, because a lot of podcasts are talking about this. Somebody on a podcast said, he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. The black squad, we automatically get Max Crosby from the white team."
That's funny as shit.
I saw somebody say like something along the lines of, "Well, the white team's O-line is going to be their best feature." It's like, is he right? Oh, he's right. They would have Kelsey. Yeah,
technically they have both Kelseys, which is
both Kelseys.
Insane.
Both Bostas. Oh, that might be a problem.
Yeah, okay, so here's
that's what I'm saying.
We're going to humor this conversation with an actual debate, which to be fair, we shouldn't, because race is a social construct. The guy who said which squad gets Mahomes puts it best. Mahomes' kids are white.
Oh no,
he's half black. Like who does Mahomes? Like
he
by
doesn't get to play. He doesn't
American social laws made by racists in the 1920s, he would be black. So because that whole thing was like, if you're part black, then you're black. Like, are we still doing that? Like, that to me kind of ended the argument, because it's like race is just a social construct. If you have to put someone in an arbitrary line, whatever. Yeah. But let's just say we're, for the sake of humor, we have the argument. Okay, I feel like
I'll be honest, the game would be pretty close. And nowadays they're like, because look, Christian McCaffrey, Max Crosby, Joey Bosa, Nick Bosa, like there
are white football players that are good for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Depends on position. They don't have any corners. You got a couple safeties, linebackers, a few edge rushers. Yeah, they do have some good edge rushers. The Watts, the Bosas, the Hutchinson, I think is white.
They'd be able to run the hell out the ball. I don't know who they're throwing to though, because I'm just sitting here trying to name at least Thielen, 4 white receivers. Adam Thielen.
What do you do with Taysom Hill?
Oh yeah,
we got kickers. Black people are losing for sure if it comes down to kicking. We gotta call Chad Ochocinco.
Wait.
I remember that. I remember when he kicked it. Oh, that was great.
Are there any black kickers in the league?
No, there's no black kickers.
Because I know the Steelers punter's black, but I don't know if there are any black.
There's no black kickers. There's only been black punters.
Marquette King, remember Marquette King?
Marquette King.
I fucking love Marquette King.
During the 80s, the Bucks had a black kicker who was Donald Igwebuike from Nigeria. He was awesome. Like that's the only one I could think of. Him and it was him. And I guess
all right.
The Middle Eastern kicker that the Giants had for a while, whose name I'm forgetting.
This would be the advantages.
Rosas?
No, it was an old guy. It's Ali Haji Sheik. He was there. It was either the Redskins or the Giants kicker during the 80s.
All I'm saying is I'd rather have corners than kickers.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, 1,000%. That's what I was gonna say. This would be the advantages. Like, if it was a team black versus team white NFL thing, the advantages, the white people would definitely be able to run the ball 1,000%. That
I mean,
offensive line would
CMC
be
is better than
ridiculous.
Mendenhall, so his whole
And-
"I'm better than your GOAT" thing is literally incorrect because he's not even better than the best current player.
Yeah, exactly. Running the ball, they'd be ridiculous. Even passing the ball, because you can throw Joe Burrow in there, you can throw Josh Allen in there, you can throw
Don't say his name.
Jared Goff in
Don't
there.
speak his name.
You
Don't
can
say
throw
Al.
Matt Stafford in there.
There you go.
Just
don't say Al.
Rodgers.
Or Rodgers. So
Oh,
they got
shit.
they got
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know who's catching the ball other than Adam Thielen and George Kittle. Oh, Travis Kelce.
Yeah,
So they got guys.
There's some
That's
good
what I'm
tight
saying.
ends.
I think I can't even say advantages. It'd probably be very evenly matched, except the corner position. The defensive back position,
Harrison
then
Smith.
the defensive back position would just be, that's where the differences would be, and the receivers as well, because again, nobody's covering Tyreek Hill.
There's a couple good white safeties. Harrison Smith comes to mind for sure, but
Britton Covey's pretty
Jesse
solid.
Bates is pretty cool. Jesse Bates is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Jesse Bates is Jesse Bates white?
Yeah.
I mean, his skin color's white to me.
I could just see somebody taking this conversation.
It's a social construct.
Someone's going to take this conversation out of context, and we're going to get featured on one of those cringe engagement farm Twitters that's like podcast discusses race. It's
Listen, we're just having fun like the rest of these podcasts out here. Rashard Mendenhall is the one that sparked it up. And now that everybody is putting together white and black teams, we're just analyzing it. That's all.
Yeah, we're just having fun. That's our job. Our job to analyze what we're given.
If they bring back Tom Brady, then I don't know. Them guys
Edelman, Chris Hogan, Danny Amendola. There's a lot of
Wes Welker,
white name position players.
Jonathan, you got a point there. I forgot about
Scotty Miller.
Scotty Miller.
Scotty Miller, Wes Welker.
What do you do with Taysom Hill?
Edelman.
Special teams. Special teams.
He's gunner.
Yeah.
He's gunner.
All right.
Block once.
All right. We can entertain this conversation all we want, but we do have some games to get to. So let's talk about. Where do we want to start, guys? Do we want to start with Monday Night Football and what I really want to say on the podcast, or do we want to start with Thursday Night Football and the other thing I really want to say on the podcast?
Let's start with Thursday night.
All right, I'll say it.
Probably go in order, but we definitely want to get to Monday night.
Hi, Brandon Staley. Bye, bitch. So I did not watch this game because I predicted 0-0 scoreless tie. So imagine my shock when I looked at the score while I was doing work and saw that at half it was 42-0. What the fuck, Chargers? So the Raiders went from losing a game 3-0 to winning 63 to 21. Excuse me. I wanted them to break the record so bad. We were so close to having two teams score 70+ points in a season for the first time ever. And we didn't, but still, how do you fall behind 49-0 before even scoring points?
The Raiders beat the Chargers 63-21.
Yeah.
I don't even.
The over-under in that game was 34.5. Raiders covered it themselves in the first half.
Oh my Lord. That's so, wow. Wow, that puts into perspective. Holy crap.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy about this game?
Wow.
Looking at the stats on ESPN,
Also,
the Raiders barely outgained the Chargers in total yards, 378 to 326. They got only 2 more first downs, 20-18, and they actually had the ball for 9 fewer seconds. The Chargers both teams had the ball basically for an even amount of time.
What? So they were just charging the entire game.
5 turnovers.
Oh my God.
Yeah, including, and here we go, guys, I love bringing it up. Our Josh Allen dumbass interception of the week goes to Easton Stick, who threw a pick six,
right?
A pick 6 to Jack Jones. That was dumb.
That was crazy.
Josh Allen is proud. That's your Josh Allen dumbass interception of the week.
I was proud.
I salute Jack Jones though, man. Just getting cut by the Patriots not too long ago. Coming onto a new team, finding a new home, and impacting right away. So salute to Jack Jones.
Buying into the Raiders culture they're trying to build around Pierce,
who
is definitely going to be, or at least should be, the next head coach, I think.
Well, we all said that.
Locker room seems to believe in him. They're playing for something.
Hey, we said that about Rich Bisaccia, and they just cut him.
Who the fuck is Rich Bisaccia?
He was the guy who took over after Gruden got fired. He led them to the playoffs, and they cut his ass for Josh McDaniel because.
Well, Josh McDaniel was like a who's available? That's like a Josh McDaniel, because Josh McDaniel for years had been rumored to be leaving, and I guess he'd become available, which is why they made that move. But who's you're right. It could happen, but who's actually like replacing Pierce right now?
Antonio Pierce is going to stay.
He's absolutely going to stay. What is this team playing for if not for him right now?
Well,
Nothing.
they still have a slight chance to make the playoffs. They're probably not going to make it, but there still is a slight chance. They're currently
but they're not going anywhere in the playoffs, and they fucking know that.
They'll be a first round exit. They'll get their
they have fucking AJ McConnell or whatever his name is.
Aiden O'Connell.
And he dogged out on Thursday night, but like he's not like he's a backup. They're not going to go far.
He's doing better than I thought he has. I think I'd rather have him over Desmond.
You know why he's done better than you thought? Because he's getting the ball to the person that nobody on the fucking Raiders organization for the last 2 years seems to get the ball to, Davante Adams.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. The last 2 years, I've seen Jacoby Myers have 8 catches in the game and Davante Adams have 3. And it's like, what the hell is going on here? You guys wonder why you're losing football games.
Yeah.
Your best player is not touching the football.
Yeah, exactly. Your best player, a generational wide receiver, is getting 3 catches for 21 yards in 5 consecutive games. What is happening?
Yeah.
He's a route runner unlike the best we've seen since like Ocho Cinco. Like this guy just burns people. He just moves and the corner is gone.
This is how you
can't get him the ball.
This is how you know he's a great route runner. Ocho Cinco, I'm glad you brought that up. Ocho Cinco went on IG Live one day, and he was crying real tears. And he said, I'm crying right now because I'm watching. I'm quoting him for word. So excuse my language. He said, I'm watching this N-word, Davante Adams right now, run routes. And this is the most surgical, amazing shit I've ever seen. So he starts crying real tears. If you have Ocho Cinco crying real tears because you're route running, you need the football in your hands.
I miss Ocho Cinco, man.
I love, like, whenever he goes on Shannon's podcast, or Shannon Sharp's podcast, or anything else, he's so entertaining. I love Ocho.
They are nuts, man. The other day, did you see that one that they had Dion on the other day? Dion.
No, I didn't.
Oh my God! Please go watch it. Like,
what are they talking about?
For sure. They're always beefing. That's what it's...
Listen, all I'm going to say is that they were saying some out-of-pocket stuff and trying to get Coach Prime to agree with them. He looked
very out-of-pocket.
He was like,
I can't wait. I can't wait.
He was like, the university wouldn't like it if I said that. And Unk is just going, am I allowed to call Shannon Sharp?
Yeah.
I just wanted to check. I felt weird coming out of my mouth for a minute. Yeah. So Saturday's games.
Well, he's earned that. So.
He has. Saturday's games kicked off with the Bengals taking down the Vikings in a thrilling overtime game.
Saturday games.
The main focus, of course, was Jake Browning, who balled out 29 of 42, 324 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. T. Higgins had the touchdown catch of the year with that. He pulled an immaculate extension. Sorry, Ravens fans, to bring that back. Sorry, Rome. I do want to give a quick shout out to Vikings backup running back Ty Chandler, who has been getting a lot of reps. 23 carries, 132 yards, 1 touchdown. If he doesn't have that performance, I am not winning my fantasy football playoff game against Jen from Bell Smashers. By the way, Jen, 7th seed, big to your ass. I'm sorry, we love Bell Smashers, but we had to do that.
Shameless plug. Go watch Bell Smashers.
Bell Smashers.
One thing you missed about Jake Browning's performance was the great quote he gave at the end. You should have never fucking cut me.
Whoa.
Well.
Whoa, I didn't see that.
Well. He shouted that out greatly and loud to the cameras, to the Minnesota Viking fan base, to the fans, to the organization, to everyone. So shout out to Jake Browning, man, because I'm not going to lie. I went to I forgot where I went Saturday, but when I left the house, Vikings were winning that football game.
Yeah, the Vikings
to my destination.
3.
Yeah, I got to my destination and everybody's telling me the Bengals won, and I'm like, bro, what the hell?
Whoa.
The Vikings were just up when I left 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, I had to.
It just went into overtime. Bengals won this, that, and the third. I'm like, wow, that's insane.
Jake Browning is giving the Bengals fans and the Bengals themselves hope that despite the injury to Joe Burrow, they're not out of it yet. They're still in a playoff spot right now. Right now, they would be in the playoffs, which same with Minnesota, by the way. Both of these teams would be in the playoffs at the moment with
the Vikings are in the NFC or so.
Cincinnati would be the sixth seed. Minnesota
only one team in the AFC that's clinched the playoffs, though, you know?
Yeah, we'll get to that team. I should probably mention two teams in the NFC got eliminated from the playoffs this week: the Titans and the Jets. And the NFC, three teams clinched, and 2 teams got eliminated: Arizona and Washington. More on those teams later, of course.
We'll point out that Browning is one of. Shout out to him and shout out to the 5 other backup quarterbacks who won this weekend.
Yeah, backups.
Crazy.
This is the year of
Browning, Flacco, Keenum,
Minshew.
Yep, Minshew. I don't even remember who that was. Speaking
of Minshew, real quick, the Indianapolis Colts blasted past the Pittsburgh Steelers 30-13, keeping their playoff hopes alive. Gardner Minshew, great day, 18 of 28 for 215 yards, 3 touchdowns.
He also got Michael Pittman killed.
He did get Michael Pittman killed. So the NFL has.
We should talk about this.
Yes. So the NFL has permanently suspended Steelers defensive back DeMonte Kazee for the hit on Michael Pittman. This led to a lot of nasty reactions on social media, including by some players, with one player in particular, Le GOAT Tom Brady, coming out and saying, that's on the quarterback. Quarterbacks need to stop throwing the ball to receivers at positions where they're going to get blown up, because Pittman had no time to react, because he had no ability to stop himself, because he was trying to make that tackle and he wasn't able to stop himself in time. I'm curious what you guys think.
One thing I love about Tom Brady is he's so realistic. Even though he's an offensive guy, he understands the defense is only doing their job. They're playing the game, doing what they need to do. Because at the end of the day, like you just said, running at 100 miles per hour, you know how hard it is to. I mean, obviously not 100 miles per hour. I'm exaggerating there, but you know, whether it's 17 or 20 miles per hour, whatever it is, you know how hard it is to adjust your body to brace for impact and turn your body a different way to not hit a receiver in this way or that way and this, that, and the third. Like Tom Brady said, that is 100% on the quarterback. The receiver had to dive to go get the ball, and the defensive back is already running at 100 miles per hour. There's no way he can stop his momentum. All he did was just play the game of football. And the old guys, Ray Lewis, Sean Taylor, Ed Reeds, all those guys, they'd be suspended every week in this league.
I hate to agree with you, but they would.
They would, but there's 2 sides to this, and I feel like both sides have merit. Number one, of course, Tom Brady understands, because he's like the most infamous guy for throwing that shit. He would get his receivers murdered by throwing over the middle of the field against the frickin' Ravens or those crazy AFC defenses all the time. He was known for that.
No, everybody was getting killed against the Ravens during Brady's day.
Okay,
you know who they had prowling around in the backfield?
Not just against the Ravens. Do I know who they had? I'm aware, but Brady is known for throwing his receivers into traffic.
Yeah, and now that he can no longer get away with that because he's not playing anymore, now he's going to be a hypocrite and be like, "Well, you should do that." It is
a little hypocritical.
I did that.
I'm not on the defender, and I think the suspension for KZ is particularly dumb, because this is I've followed his career since he was on the Falcons. He's very interesting defensive back. He can play slot corner. He can play safety. He's one of those kind of types. He can hit hard, but usually he's actually just like a decent tackler and a cover guy. That's usually him. He's not the kind of player that does these. He's not a big hit kind of player. It's not like it's like the Draymond thing. It's like, oh, he did it again. He's finally getting suspended. No, it's not anything like that. This is a freak incident, basically. And
it also sucks too, because,
like you said, what option did he really have there? In that particular situation, I think the suspension is very unfair.
It also sucks too, because defensive guys can't even really play defense anymore. It's almost like two-hand touch now. Like, you literally have to push them to make a tackle.
You can't spear tackle a QB anymore.
I've seen the craziest things, for example, like the other day I saw a roughing the passer, and I just couldn't understand why he was roughing the passer. Even though the commentators explained it, this, that, and the third, I still watched the play 3-4 times over and over and over and over. and I couldn't understand what happened to cause this to be roughing the passer. The guy got sacked. Like, the guy literally got sacked. But the way that he tackled him, because he tackled him that way, it was roughing the passer. And I said, this game is getting so goddamn soft. This is crazy.
It is, but here's the other side of this argument. And by the way, I don't particularly know what my own particular stance is on this. I tend to lean in your direction, 40. I think I agree that it's been soft. But I do want to point out the other side of this argument and say that I'm not really sure which one is correct. Is that as the game develops and we go more towards the future, of course, safety is going to continually be more and more present. So these kind of things are going to get more and more penalized. Nowadays, the NFL is a business first and foremost. They like their star players out there, including quarterbacks. So now there's rules for specifically tackling the QB. You got to do that the right way. You can't even spear tackle a QB. You cannot even you cannot pick him up and put him down anymore. That's literally a penalty. Which is kind of crazy, right?
1,000%.
But at the same time, for KZ and his hit for DeMonte, I wouldn't think there's anything in that situation that he could do differently, but in the future, they're probably going to teach them how to do things differently and just say, even if it means it's going to end up being like, okay, yeah, if that means you can't play defense, then you probably just can't play defense. You can probably just only like cover them and not do that because safety is more important. I mean, Pittman got like almost killed by that hit. Jesus.
Check this out, though. These guys have been playing football since they were 4 or 5 years old. They knew football when it was real football. They knew what they signed up for when they asked their parents to go sign them up for football every year, all the way into the time that they made it to the NFL. These guys get paid millions of dollars. They know that this is a dangerous goddamn sport. That is why they get paid these millions of dollars, because they know that this shit is fucking dangerous. There's no hiding it. This is a contact sport. Contact is going to happen. Sometimes contact happens in a way. Sometimes contact happens in a way that you can't avoid the contact, and it turns out to be a bigger hit than usual. These guys know that, though. That's why they play this sport. They haven't walked away from this sport yet because you know why? They know what comes with it. So it's to the point now where even you see some offensive players vouching for these defensive players, current offensive players. They're vouching. Like, I saw a hit a couple weeks ago where a couple guys on Twitter were saying, like, what could he do about that? You feel me? Like, what can they do about that? These guys know what they're signing up for. That's why they play the sport.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I tend to agree with you.
And I'll say this much, to be fair, defense has been having a bit of a renaissance in the last couple of years where we've seen scoring noticeably be down over the last couple of years. If you watch a lot of games nowadays, you'll notice like the defenses they're playing a lot tougher. There's been a lot of low scoring games in the NFL over the last few years, but they're just lacking that kind of tenacity that we've seen with that we saw back during when we were kids growing up with defenses.
The whole 2000 Ravens would be suspended.
Probably
gone.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
The 2002 Bucks, bro.
I was just about to say that too.
No. The 2000, we weren't really big hitters. We had some gnarly hits, and we did almost kill the Ravens running back in that one game because Warren Sapp decided that I'm going to pick this man up and then suplex him into the ground for some reason.
Yeah, you guys are just really disciplined.
That 02 Bucks defense was well disciplined and was better known for being ball hawks. Like they were good at forcing turnovers and scoring. They didn't really do hard hits. They were more of just like, well, you're not gonna have the ball for long because you're either gonna have to punt or it's our turn.
Yeah,
so
that's true. 2000 Ravens though gone. Every single last
Ravens
one.
were just physical and that is one of the few cases I've seen of a defense carrying an offense literally. Like that 6-week stretch where the offense didn't score any touchdowns and they won 4 of those games. It's you don't see that anymore. The last of the Saturday games, Lions crushing the Broncos 42-17. Jared Goff, probably the best performance of his career, 24-34 for 278 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Statement win by the Lions.
Yeah, Sam Laporta, 3 touchdowns. Great game for the rookie.
For sure.
Detroit basically just said, you counted us out, which I'm saying, yeah, because I'm still concerned that you lost to the Bears earlier this season. But Denver's been solid this year, and that's a really big win for the Lions.
They are definitely a playoff caliber team. This is a huge statement win,
Yeah.
I think, against a team that is good. The Broncos are good, and this
So
is a
not
good.
only that, but it helps their seeding. That helped their seeding in the playoffs. And I was actually looking at a stat today. If they stay in the same position they're in right now for the rest of the year, they will never have to either leave Detroit or play a game in the cold. Because they'd probably play San Francisco and then, whoever they would play. But the stat that I was reading was Jared Goff in games where it is warm weather or a dome averages 280 yards, 3 touchdowns, two and a half touchdown passes, only one turnover. And his stats are seemingly better in those games. They referred it back to the 2016 when the Rams went to the Super Bowl. They said Jared Goff never left, that he never had to leave from a sunny state during that Super Bowl run. And look what happened. Those guys got to the Super Bowl. So basically, they were trying to say, if this happens, don't be surprised of the Lions making a run due to the fact that Jared Goff doesn't have to play in the cold throughout the whole entire playoffs.
This Lions team is giving me kind of 2021 Bengals vibes in that, they haven't been amazing, but they've been really, really solid and like been one of the big breakout teams. And I'll say this much. I don't think they're going on a deep-ish run. I don't see the Lions making the Super Bowl because the NFC is way too top-heavy. But I do see them ending the streak because they haven't won a playoff game since 1991 when they beat Troy, Emmett, and Michael's Cowboys in the divisional round. That's the last time they won a playoff game. Longest streak in the NFL. They have not won since before most of us were born. I could see that streak ending this year because they are probably getting a cupcake in the wild card round. I don't see them going on a deep run, but I do see them taking a big step forward.
I tend to agree with you. I think, we said earlier we've been looking for like a statement win from Detroit for, they just hadn't been winning against any like convincing teams on account of having an easy schedule because they're the Lions. This Broncos aren't amazing, but they're a good playoff caliber team, and they're in the AFC, which is harder than the NFC.
Yeah.
The Lions blew them out. There you go. That's your statement win. Now we'll see. Can they go on a run and beat, I don't know, Philly, then Dallas, then San Fran? No.
They could beat one of those. Not all of them.
Which one, Isaac? Which one can they beat?
Actually,
who is it?
They could probably beat a team on the East Coast. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Well, yeah, but that's my point, though. It's like, I'm not totally convinced that they're all the way there yet, but I'm for sure convinced that they're a playoff caliber team.
So, let us rapid fire through some of Sunday's games. Give me your quick thoughts if you have any. Starting off, the Dolphins smashed the Jets without Tyreek Hill, 30-0. Tua goes 21 of 24 for 224 yards, 1 touchdown. He was 1 or 2 more touchdowns away from a perfect passer rating. Raheem Mostert was really the focal point of the offense for this game, as was Jalen Waddle. Without Tyreek Hill, basically the Dolphins just proving we can win without Tyreek, but they did beat it.
It's a big win.
Raheem Mostert broke the Dolphins touchdown record as well this past Sunday.
Hell yeah.
This is about the Lions. If they end up hosting whichever Eagles or Cowboys don't win the NFC East, who do you got? The NFC East team.
Yeah, probably.
In my opinion.
Depending on if they play the Cowboys, they have a chance. If they play the Eagles are in such a slump right now that they are probably going to whoop the shit out of whoever they play in the first round of the playoffs.
I think if they get Philly at home,
Philly
beats them by 2 touchdowns. I think if they have to go into Philly might win by 30. Even with this current decline, I expect that to stop this week. We'll get to that in a minute.
The poor soul who has to face Philly in the first round. That would probably be the NFC South. Oh, shit! No, we don't want that. We don't want that. No. Quick note on the Jets. The loss officially eliminates them for the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers has been medically cleared. Aaron Rodgers has been medically cleared to return to the active roster, but he has said he will not play this season as he's going to focus on healing his Achilles. I still convinced he didn't tear that. I'm still convinced that he didn't tear that shit because there's no way he should be practicing with the team now. There's no way.
He's magical. So
He's lucky he didn't, because I was thinking their next game was against Washington, and that's where he was rumored to return. If Aaron Rodgers tries to throw on that FedEx Field turf with a badly recovery, yeah, you know
Career
what's
ending.
going.
Career ending.
Yeah.
Even for him.
So shout out to Case Keenum, that's a name we haven't heard in a while, who started for the Texans over the injured CJ Stroud and led Houston to a 19-16 victory over the Titans in overtime.
Titans kind of let this one go more than Texans won it, but it is worth noting that the Texans won it.
Yeah, they were up 16-9 with about 3 minutes to go when the Texans got it done. Shout out to Case Keenum showing up and getting the job done. I would also like to say that with this win, since the Titans were wearing their Houston Oilers throwbacks, I think this win, JJ Watt tweeted it best, the uniforms are ours now. That was Houston reclaiming what is rightfully theirs. Tennessee, though, thank you for playing. You have officially been eliminated from the playoffs. I bid you adieu. In Green Bay, something happened that has never happened at Lambeau Field before. A visiting quarterback had a perfect passer rating. Ladies and gentlemen, the savior of Tampa Bay, the ultimate baker, come on down to Baker's Bakery, as Baker Mayfield dropped 22 completions on 28 attempts for 381 yards and 4 touchdowns as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers shock the Green Bay Packers 34-20.
Look at this motherfucker smiling. Oh my God.
Just smack the shit out of the Green Bay Packers, going 7-7, get back to 500. We are back,
even
baby.
Hide it.
Can't hide what?
Can't hide the love you have for it. All right, I'll give it to you. Fine. Bucks are
getting killed in the first round.
Possibly good, maybe. I mean, we don't know. I don't know if they're not primed for a playoff run. I don't believe in the Bucks yet, but I will say I absolutely expect them to win the NFC South now. This was a statement win too. That being said, all right, look, I'll give it to. It's never happened in history. Perfect pass rating in Lambeau. That's for an opposing quarterback. That's something, and I'll give it to Baker, who I cannot stand and continue to cannot stand it. This doesn't change my opinion of him other than I guess he can still every now and then be really good when you're against a Joe Barry-led defense. The only Vic Fangio disciple who has not been fired because that style of defense does not work in the NFL. The Packers can give up. Jordan Love played okay. Like, it's not like he did terrible, but like the defense has been so bad. I'm just saying, they're playing against players made out of paper mache out there.
Yeah, we only punted once or twice that entire game.
Defense is dog shit.
You guys know how I feel about Baker Mayfield, but I picked on him so much last year that I don't know if maybe he was sneaking in and watching our episodes or something, but
he was.
The guy's impressed me. The guy's impressed me a lot this year. I'll give it to him. Especially the other day, only having 16 completions and the ball game that he did have. Very impressive game. Definitely doesn't change how I feel about him though. I still think the guy's garbage. I just think that he's, having a better year than he usually had in his career. That's all. But
he's listening.
At the end of the day, though, he's done enough to put his team in the position to be the 500 team that's going to make the playoffs this year.
I think they'd be lucky to win.
But
can't be 500 anymore. 17 games.
Yeah. Shout out to the Bucks, man. They had a good game this weekend. I mean, how many more Baker games will we see like that this year?
Oh, we better have one in a couple of weeks. By the way, I just hope you guys know next week's episode is that's Saints week, so just be warned. I'm gonna be toxic as hell. I'm just gonna come out and say this: we back, baby! Hell yeah! That's all I'm gonna say.
Hey, 40. They're back at 7-7.
Hey,
oh no,
it's gonna be good enough to win the division. Okay.
Yeah, that's the saddest part.
It's sad.
Like,
speaking of the
8 and 9,
the NFC South. The only team keeping pace with the Bucks in the NFC South right now are the that team from New Orleans, who crushed the Giants 24-6. Derek Carr threw 3 touchdown passes, 218 yards. Tommy Cutlets was knocked out with a concussion. By the way, we can't call him that anymore. Apparently, Tommy DeVito does not like the whole Italian stereotype about him and has been telling people that.
Fair enough. All right. End
Fair
of
enough,
Tommy
but you
Cutlets.
kind of
Rest in peace, 2
invited
weeks.
this, my man. You kind of invite. I mean, we'll stop
He
doing
invited
it.
it by being Italian.
Yes. No. I'll stop. If he doesn't want people to do it anymore, it's fair enough. That's just sad though. I'm upset. The other NFC South game, I did want to talk about this real quick. So the Panthers and Falcons played a game in Carolina. The stadium was 95% full. The fuck? No, it wasn't. So it was played in a torrential downpour. It was like 95% empty for much of the game. And the Panthers won 9-7 over the Falcons in one of the ugliest games of the entire season.
Can I say it? Can I say it, please?
Say
Pull
it.
up that little graphic you have of the little that Josh Allen thing, like the thing that we make fun of. Thank you. There it is. Thank you. Desmond Ridder gave the game away. That was one of the worst interceptions, like the pick six. Y'all see that? That was like one of the worst interceptions I have ever seen. What was he doing?
If I'm Atlanta, honestly, I'm going to draft a quarterback.
You have to. Desmond Ritter's trash. He's
I don't
trash.
know.
I'm done on this back and forth. He's garbage. Heineke hasn't shown enough to be considered the future. Maybe you trade for Howell or some other.
And this is the thing
quarterback.
too. I don't know why. So, for example, like Sam Howell, I can understand why people had hype around him. Guy went to UNC. He played some big name schools and stuff like that. Desmond Ridder went to fucking Cincinnati. What did people think he was going to do in the NFL? Well, that's just like Zach Wilson to me. Everybody was hyping this guy on his pro day, this, that, and the third. I wish I still had my old Twitter because I quote tweeted that dumbass throw on pro day. And I said, this is on air. The guy went to BYU. Who the fuck did he play? What is Zach Wilson doing in the NFL? Nothing. You feel me? I don't understand why these people think that because of what these guys are doing on air, they're going to be the greatest quarterback in all of history. Like, Desmond Ridder went to a Cincinnati school that had a great run game and a great defense. That defense that year barely let up any points when he went to Cincinnati and they went 11-0 or whatever it is that they went 11-1. So, like, what in the Falcons' right mind said, oh, yeah, we're going to draft this guy pretty high and this guy's going to be the future. Like,
to be completely fair to Atlanta, Desmond Ridder did lead Cincinnati, a group of 5 school, to the college football playoff, which had never been done before. But at the same time,
that was controversial too. Them even being
that came with a lot of controversy because should they have been there? Well, no. I wanted them to be there to break the system, but they really shouldn't have. Just for clarity,
that's exactly why Florida State's not in there this year.
Well, that's fair enough.
All right.
Desmond Ridder, by the way, has been benched for the remainder of the season. The Falcons announced today that Taylor Heineke will be the starting quarterback going forward for their final 3 games. They're basically out of it at this point. They don't have the tiebreakers against the Saints and the Falcons, so they're basically out of the playoff picture at this point.
Yeah, like that pick is the. That's one of those things where it makes you go, there is just no hope for this quarterback. Even Mac Jones and the one where he had, which I think was one of the worst interceptions I've ever seen, the one from a couple weeks ago where he just like threw a dud, just right to the defender. There was like no one even there. Even that one, I've seen Mac place the ball accurately before, and at least I don't. But if you wanted to believe in Mac Jones and say, oh, there's something there, you have more of an argument than if you say that for Ridder. There's just nothing, in my opinion. Get rid of him. Just cut him. Cut him.
So, Falcons owner Arthur Blank, by the way, has said that Coach Arthur Smith, they're going to let the season play out before they decide what to do. As Yoni jumps in, Dak Prescott's road stats for the season are comparable to Desmond Ridder. Great graphic. First things first.
Stats are stats.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Arthur Smith, honestly,
that's the reason right there why I don't like stats. I'm not a huge Dak person, but there's an enormous gap between him and Ridder. I don't care what their stats.
Dak. I've never been a fan of Dak anyway. I don't think Dak's good, so that doesn't surprise me that his road stats are the same as Ridder's. Like,
I'm not a huge Dak person either, but there's a big gap between him and Desmond Ridder.
Definitely a big gap.
That should be starting. At the very least. There you go. End of story to me.
Dak
will
also
be
won
starting.
football games in the SEC, so you're 100% right. There is a big gap.
All I'm going to say on the whole Arthur Smith quote is this. The Falcons have a very talented receiver named Drake London, a very talented tight end named Kyle Pitts, and a talented rookie running back Bijan Robinson.
Who only had 9 touches the other day.
And they barely use all 3 of them for some reason because Arthur Smith is one of those analytical coaches who tries to outthink his opponents without actually using his players. That's what
you're
I'm
100% right about that. That is absolutely a knock against Arthur Smith. He does not get the ball to his playmakers. You have Kyle Pitts. Just use him. Like, just work around the guy. Like,
stop giving the ball to Tyler Algier. I know he had a couple really good games and he has helped my fantasy team out this year. But you have Bijan Robinson for a reason.
Man. You have Bijan.
Like, literally.
Yeah. Speaking of players actually using their position players, I want to give a shout out to David Njoku, who recently has been balling out because Joe Flacco loves his tight ends. Joe Flacco, by the way, led the Browns to another big win, all but guaranteeing the Browns are going to make the playoffs this year. He passed for 374 yards, led the Browns on a last-second comeback. I do want to give a quick shout out to the Bears because, holy crap, they almost won. If was it Darnell or Kyle Moody? Darnell Moody. If Darnell Moody doesn't drop that Hail Mary, the Bears upset the Browns.
Let's go back before that. The Hail Mary doesn't even happen if Robert Tonyan catches the goddamn wide open touchdown pass.
That too.
When he was running and nobody was behind him but the air in the end zone. So
what I'm hearing is Joe Flacco's elite. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing right now.
Yeah,
Joe Flacco's elite.
Nothing to take away from Joe Flacco though. Joe Flacco had a hell of a day, and like you said, David Njoku has been his number one guy the last 2 weeks here.
Njoku's phenomenal.
Yeah, Njoku. Shout out to Njoku too. Having that scary incident where he had the burns on his face at the start of the season.
He did. Yeah, I remember that.
And then now he's the go-to guy for Joe Flacco in these last couple weeks here, helping the Browns make a playoff push. But Joe Flacco overall, he's getting his guys involved. Amari Cooper, what's the other guy? Number 8, Elijah Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Elijah Moore, he's getting involved. So Joe Flacco's getting his guys involved in, looking very upbringing and good for the Browns. And the funniest scenario is just going to be if they have to play the Ravens in the second round, and
that's going to be so much fun.
Flacco reunion out in Baltimore. We'll see what happens.
He's going to return with a standing ovation, but he better not win.
Oh yeah, 1,000% standing ovation. If they boo that man, then I don't know.
They won't.
Ravens
I was at the Rams game, and they were literally like in between breaks, they were relaying Joe Flacco highlights that were currently going on. And Joe Flacco is just throwing another touchdown pass against whatever team they were playing. That was at M&T Bank Stadium, and everyone was going, woohoo! Like, no, they're not going to boo him.
No. I'm going to rapid fire these games so we can get to the ones we really want to talk about. Chiefs beat the Patriots 27-17. Although Patrick Mahomes is just not thrilled with Kadarius Toney because
garbage.
I'll say this:
all the other thrilled with Travis fucking Kelce. He needs to get rid of Taylor Swift. I haven't seen the real Travis Kelce in weeks. I don't know what's going on with that guy.
There's something to say about that because Kelce hasn't been that good either. He's been having these weird drops. They've all been having weird drops. I don't know what's going on with the Chiefs. They need to get that sorted out. It's going to bite them in the playoffs for sure if that doesn't get fixed.
My mom said the exact same thing.
I mean, I believe in them. They have enough on record for us to give them the benefit of the doubt and say they're still really good and still
listen,
a Super Bowl contender, but they need to get this worked out.
When the Chiefs were throwing the ball to anybody not named Kadarius Toney or Travis Kelce, Patrick was a perfect 18 for 18.
Yeah, Rasheed Rice had a hell of a game.
Yeah, 91 yards in the score. Rasheed Rice went off. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had a catch that made him look like Megatron for a second. Like, Chiefs did fine.
Yeah.
Now, the 49ers, on the other hand, I mean, there's not much to say here other than another victim. They officially knocked Arizona out of playoff contention. Shocker. Christian McCaffrey scored 3 touchdowns. So at this point, the 2 MVP candidates right now, it's really coming down to Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, who else is in there? Who else?
There's another guy we'll talk about in a sec. We're
number 8, the great.
over in Los Angeles, the Rams built up a 20-0 lead over the Commanders, then almost blew it for some reason, as Sam Howell was replaced by Jacoby Brissett, who threw the ball 10
Looks pretty
times,
good.
completed 8 of them for 124 yards and 2 touchdowns, and
He looked pretty
almost led
He was
the
throwing
Commanders to an
dimes.
improbable comeback.
All right.
I actually didn't even watch that game. I haven't watched the Commanders game in like 4 weeks, if we're being honest.
It's fair enough, man.
There
They're
hasn't
lost.
been much
They're
reason
out
for you to watch.
They're out of the playoffs. They're one of the worst teams in the league. That's all you need to know.
Easily. They're not serious, like you said. But I do want to say this about Howell. Lately, I've been growing more and more concerned, and I understand he's in a bad situation, a bad year, and there's not anything to play for. So of course his stuff is not going to look good. But he's still a young quarterback, and you have to constantly give your all and do your best. And he's not doing that well. Like, just be putting it mildly. Like I don't know if he's actually the future. And then when you get backup quarterback Jacoby Brissett in there, who I've always thought was pretty good and could honestly start for a lot of teams. And he throws dime after dime. I don't know.
I'm happy he came in because he gave Terry McLaurin a 150-yard day. Put Terry right there where he needs to be for how many games are left? 4 games?
Mm-hmm.
3.
So 3. Okay, 3 games. Terry has 3 games now to get to 1,000 yards. He only needs 135 more yards. So
It depends on who's starting.
Without Brissett coming in, he wouldn't be 135 yards closer to a 4th consecutive 1,000-yard season.
I hope he gets it.
I hope he does too.
So, our final 3 games we're going to talk about. We'll start with one that had a result no one saw coming. The Buffalo Bills blow out the Dallas Cowboys 31-10, amassing 200.
No one saw coming?
Well, maybe some people did. The Bills threw the ball 15 times this game, only 7 complete passes by Josh Allen. They ran the ball 49 times for a combined 266 yards and 3 touchdowns, with James Cook rushing for 179. It got to the point where Noam and I were at work and thinking, oh man, if they keep feeding him, what if he tries and goes for the record? Because he had like 179 at the end of the 3rd quarter. Well, that didn't happen because everyone is a coward, doesn't want to go after AP single game record. But
it's 296 yards, dude.
With the Cowboys' Swiss cheese run defense, they could have done it.
You got a point. Maybe. I don't know. That's a hard record. He would still need a 100-yard day after all that he had already done.
Still, just an amazing performance from James Cook. Amazing performance from the Bills. Josh Allen did not throw an interception this week. Good for him. Give him a little golf clap. He's getting
only
better.
15 throws. He better not have thrown an interception.
He only completed 7 of those, which is still like, Jesus Christ, Josh.
Hey, Josh Allen's good.
Here we go again. Here we go again.
He's a good quarterback. I'd say he's up there for, I'd say he's probably 4th or 5th for MVP right now, in my opinion, for my picks. He's up there.
What the hell happened with the Cowboys, though? That's what I mean. I know Eagles fans were watching this like this could have been us.
I can name 5 better than Josh Allen.
Oh no,
no, you can't.
You're not even paying attention. We're just going back into it. Let's do it.
Ah, my goodness.
I can too.
Nonsense. They're not better than him. Not the way he's been playing lately.
Christian McCaffrey.
Boo.
Brock Purdy.
I guess.
Who else? Even though he just beat him, I'm putting Dak Prescott over Josh Allen still.
No way. Allen's playing way better than Dak.
And
Dak just took himself out of the MVP race as far as
Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill.
Missed games. He's not going to get it. You can't miss games to win an MVP.
That's true.
2017 Carson Wentz. Can't miss games to win an MVP.
Carson Wentz was the best player in the league that year, and bad things happened.
I mean, you asked me for 5, I gave you 5. Whether Tyreek Hill can win it or not, I gave you 5. Better than Josh Allen.
I agree. All right, let's stop beating around the bush. Let's talk about Lamar Jackson. So the Ravens statement win on Sunday Night Football, crushing the Jaguars 23-7. I'm not gonna lie, the Ravens didn't play great in this game. But Jacksonville played worse because the Jags just couldn't stop making mistakes.
Correct.
I blame those ugly ass uniforms the Jags have.
That has to be the only reason.
Yeah, and it's clearly not that their quarterback was playing on a high ankle sprain. Clearly not. Lamar Jackson had one of the best plays of the year with that escaping a sack to throw that who's it? He got it to Likely.
Yeah, Isaiah Likely. He's been doing that all year though. Like he has just incredible pocket awareness. The best pocket awareness in the league right now.
Just throw it up. He's likely to come down with it.
There you go. Oh, can we put that on a t-shirt too? Let's put that on a t-shirt too. We already got the as long as 8's on the field.
Not even their number 4 option. I do like Likely though.
Likely's good.
With this win, Ravens 11-3. They're the first AFC team to clinch a playoff berth, and
they're
are
likely to clinch.
Likely to get the number 1 seed too. Because
I like
likely to throw to Likely.
I liked Likely when he was at Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, you know he was likely to. You knew Likely was likely to make the NFL.
Yeah,
he was likely to go to a good team. Like I'll stop.
Now the Ravens' schedule down the stretch is going to be hell because they've got the Niners and the Dolphins in back-to-back weeks coming up, and then the Steelers. And you know how they play against the Steelers. They got to be dumb for some reason. Yep, poorly. So
I think they win 2 out of those 3. I think they lose. I think Lamar takes his second loss to an NFC team and he loses to the Niners. And the only reason I say he loses to the Niners is because it's hard to beat a team twice, and that's probably going to be the Super Bowl matchup in the Super Bowl.
You know what's the weird thing? I was actually weirdly thinking that. I was like, if they have to go this team again, I'd rather they take the Super Bowl win.
Yeah,
but the 49ers are just in a tier of their own right now. So I definitely kind of do agree. I love Baltimore. I love Baltimore. They're winning against really good teams. And there's, I think, a big difference between them and other teams like Jacksonville and everything. But we will see. We will see.
I mean, next 2 weeks the season 13 and even taking the loss to San Francisco to end the season 13-4 is phenomenal.
They have to still win. They have to still do it. They got to beat Miami first.
You know what this game reminds me of? These 2 teams actually met in a situation like this back in 2019. Remember that?
Oh yeah. The Ravens and Niners.
Yeah, that game in the rain.
That was a good game.
That was like a really good game because these 2 teams are ranked number 1 and number 2 in the NFL by most power rankings. The last time that they met like that was 2019. So it could be a Super Bowl preview. We'll talk more about it when we get to our game picks in a little bit. But I mean, get the Ravens like Jacksonville. I'll say this much for the Jags. Jags got to get it together because they're now tied for first in the NFC South with the fucking Colts and Texans. The AFC South has suddenly gotten super competitive out of nowhere. Jags have got to figure this out.
Yeah, it was their division to lose.
Because they're looking a lot like last year's Titans, where the Titans just completely fell apart after they had the division on lock. Jags had this division on lock a couple weeks ago, and now they're falling apart. Could happen. Wrapping up our recap, Monday Night Football. It's been a long time coming for me to say this. I'm sorry, Eagles fans, but a certain quarterback came into their own on Monday night.
It was Drew
Lock. Drew Lock came into his own, baby. Drew Lock.
Yeah, I want to point out that even if he did come into his own on
meme will never die.
Monday night,
the meme will never die.
When you originally said it in 2019, it was still inaccurate. Him coming into his own 4 years after does not mean you're right.
All I'm going to say is play the clips back from last year. I told you guys about Jalen Hurts, the real Jalen Hurts, and how
Jalen Hurts.
Yep.
When things are not going perfectly.
He needs 5-star guys around him. If his 5-star guys aren't performing, Jalen Hurts is absolute trash.
I'm going to say this much.
He rolled his T on that one. He said trash.
Trash. We need a soundboard button for that, man. Eagles fans, we're talking about how this was going to be Jalen Hurts' flu game. It definitely was the flu game because he kind of sucked.
I get it, because the Eagles, and they say fly, Eagles fly, and they flew away and lost. I get it. Brilliant, Isaac.
What is going on with the Eagles, though? That's 3 straight losses now. All of them, the offenses
higher than Eagles.
The offenses looks pretty terrible. Yeah,
they're 1-3 since Sirianni said what he said to the Chiefs fans.
What did he say to the Chiefs fans?
When he was leaving the stadium, and he was like, "I don't want to hear shit else from you, Chiefs fans."
Yeah. Chiefs fans are known to do like voodoo. So
Seahawks can fly higher than Eagles. That's all I got to say.
Today Monday night we found out who Monday night we found out who the biggest bird really was. I hope you guys know that we
It's the
have
Baltimore Ravens. That's right. Yes, we did.
most of our fans
Beat up a
are
jungle cat.
most of the fans and people we work with at this podcast network are from Philadelphia. So don't be surprised if we get a letter saying we're sorry, but we have to terminate your contract.
Hey, okay, wait, hold on. Eagles are still one of the best teams in the league. They're still phenomenal.
Yeah, no,
I
fraudulent.
expect them to turn that around this week against a really against a really bad New York team. Stop looking like that.
New York who? The Giants? Tommy DeVito is about to dot them boys up.
oh no!
Let Darius Slay be out another week. Tommy DeVito is going to give James Bradbury hell.
I like I said earlier, I
That's
can't wait
good.
to see the Eagles have to go up against the NFC South champions. Shit, that's us. Probably.
Oh, they're going to be so angry. The Eagles I still expect them to host playoff games. They're still really. They gotta stop this decline. They've been going all right, you get killed by the 49ers, the best team in the league, get exposed by them in the double
fair.
Debos. That's all right. You lose to Dallas and Jerry World. Expected you to win, but understandable. It just shows you that you guys are also frauds. But then you lose to Seattle. All right, now we got to talk. Now we have to talk about it. So
Specifically, Drew Lock, Seattle.
Yeah, Drew Lock. How are you gonna get sunned by Drew Lock? Okay, yeah, you got to get. I expect that to turn around this week against Tommy DeVito and the Giants.
So
better.
before we get into game
hold
picks,
back next week if they don't.
Before we get into game picks, quick look at the standings right now where we stand in terms of the playoffs. So in the AFC, Ravens have clinched a playoff berth. They are currently sitting at the 1 seed. Your wild card matchups would be Colts at Dolphins, Bengals at Chiefs, and Browns at Jags. On the outside, looking in for the playoffs with a fairly good chance to make it if things go right, go well for them, are Houston and Buffalo. On the outside, looking in with a not so good chance of making it, are Pittsburgh and Denver.
Boo! We don't like them. Sorry, go ahead.
Still eligible, but most likely not going to make it is the Raiders, and I don't know how they're still in the hunt. The Chargers, Tennessee, the Jets, and the Patriots have all been eliminated.
How is the worst team in the league in the hunt for the playoffs?
Because the Chiefs can't get their shit together.
Because they fired Brandon Staley.
Yeah. In the NFC, the 49ers have clinched the NFC West and are basically guaranteed to get the 1 seed at this point as long as they don't fuck it up. The Cowboys have clinched a playoff berth. They currently sit at 2. They would face the Rams in the first round. The Lions would face the Vikings, and the Bucks would face the Eagles, who have clinched a playoff berth. On the outside looking in with a fairly good chance of making the playoffs for the NFC are the Seahawks and that team from New Orleans. Teams with a team still in the hunt but not good odds are the Falcons and Packers, and teams still in the hunt but with awful odds and are basically not going to make it, but they're still eligible at this point, are the Giants and Bears. Washington, Arizona, and Carolina have all been eliminated. So week 16, crucial. A lot of games that mean a lot.
So now there are 4 teams in the NFC with winning records.
Yeah, there's just still 4 teams in the NFC with winning records.
Holy shit.
It's a rough year for that conference. Speaking of, let's get into our game picks. Thursday Night Football, a crucial game between 2 teams vying for a wild card spot. That team from New Orleans versus the Rams. You guys already know who I'm picking. I am 100% a Los Angeles boy this Thursday. Go Rams. Please just beat the ever-loving shit out of the Saints.
Who that say they're going to beat this? The Rams are probably going to win. The Rams will probably beat the Saints.
Yeah, I got the Rams.
Taking the Rams. Just wanted to see your face. It was worth it.
I don't really trust Derek Carr. I mean, he had a good performance last week, but that's a Giants team that, really has not shit to play for the rest of the season. So, yeah, give me the Rams. I trust Matt Stafford over Derek Carr.
Any day.
Yeah.
Any day.
On Saturday, we've got ourselves a Saturday doubleheader, part of the NFL on NBC's holiday special. Saturday afternoon, Bengals-Steelers, bitter rivalry in the AFC North. Both teams still vying for a playoff spot. Jake Browning's shown a lot recently, and that Pittsburgh offense is trash. They announced recently Mason Rudolph will start this game, so that's another backup quarterback in. Give me Cincinnati.
Give me Cincinnati.
You didn't know about Mason Rudolph, huh?
Nah, I didn't read that.
He's back. He's back.
Wow. Give me Cincinnati.
There are very few quarterbacks who I would say are not an upgrade over Mitch Trubisky, and I think Mason Rudolph is actually one of them. Yeah. Yeah. Give me some. I mean, obviously, give me Cincinnati. I was thinking,
Yeah.
are they going to win by 5 touchdowns or 6? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's debatable. It's a lot that goes into it. Football's a complicated sport.
Saturday Night Football. Buffalo visits the Chargers in L.A. Man, this isn't even Buffalo is going to win this one. Easy win.
Chargers' first game without Brandon Staley. I like to think like the NFL.
I knew he was going to say something.
It's going to trap.
I knew he was going to say something. I was just like,
trap game.
Let's see. Go on, say it.
I don't really trust Josh Allen too much anyway.
There it is.
I
heard that too. What the fuck?
I'm going to go with the Chargers.
Oh, God.
What?
Oh, God.
Oh, there's this fucking guy. Bills. Absolutely Bills.
I'm going with the Chargers.
Boo. Bills. Give me Bills. It's crazy, bro.
Sorry. A friend of mine was just trying to call me. It's like, give me like 5 minutes. I'm podcasting. Sunday, Christmas Eve games kicking off. Browns, Texans, big game between two teams vying for playoff spots in the AFC. This is going to be an interesting one, but if CJ Stroud isn't starting, which it looks like he's not, and it's going to be Case Keenum again, I'm going to take Joe Flacco's Browns. Oh, that feels weird saying.
Yeah, give me the Browns.
Give me the Joe Flacco's.
Yeah. This game, the only game that really has no meaning whatsoever. Commies Jets. Two teams eliminated from the playoffs. They have nothing to play for. I'm going to get the Commanders to get the win.
The Jets have a phenomenal defense, but they did just get carved up by the Dolphins, who didn't have Tyreek Hill. Obviously, Washington can play at a similarly level if you flip their shit upside down. So, of course, give me the Jets. Could Washington beat anyone?
No.
Yeah. Give me the Jets.
If you flip the graph upside down, they're very similar teams.
Seahawks and Titans. Seattle trying to keep their playoff hopes alive as they face a Titans team with nothing to lose. I'm going to say Seattle gets it done. I think Drew Lock is going to start again, and I believe in Horsecock Lock.
Yeah. Pause. But
you never heard that meme?
No, I have not heard of.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna go with Seattle as well.
That's like Big Dick Nick, but worse.
It's way worse.
It's so much worse.
It's so bad. I wanted to say that on the pod just to see what would happen. I could just see Mike now. I could see Mike now like.
You said it like it was a normal thing.
I could see Mike now being like, yeah, they're never getting sponsors for that. Yeah.
Sponsored by Manscaped. Let's see.
Protect your horse. No.
I hate them so much. I wish I never met Isaac.
Take the pick.
Titans.
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 I don't like that.
Lock can suck a horse cock.
Okay, well, Colts versus Falcons, another game between two playoff teams.
If you say so.
Yeah. Well, the Falcons technically are still alive, but they're not going to make it. But give me the Colts. Yeah, Colts. Packers and Panthers. Green Bay trying to regroup from their loss to the Bucks. They're playing the worst team in the league. Go Packers. Go Packers.
Yeah, I mean, go Packers, I guess. Yeah, Packers. I'm sorry, I'm still over two playoff teams. Like the Falcons are a playoff team.
Technically,
they're dog shit.
Yeah.
The NFC guys. Sorry, continue.
Wrapping up with the early games, Detroit versus Minnesota. This game for the NFC North. Give me the Lions, baby. Division title. Here we come.
Yeah, I'm going Detroit.
No, don't make it a trap game. Come on. No, Gnome. No, don't go into the light, Gnome. Oh, God, he's doing it. Vikings. Oh,
I already told you the trap game of the week, man. Buffalo is losing.
Oh, there's another game I think is a trap game. This one, you guys better pick right for this one. Jags Bucks Battle of Northern. It's a Florida Bowl. And you know who I'm rocking with. Let's go Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Cannons.
I don't know. This is a shit bowl.
These are some of the worst puns I've heard in a while. You are likely to be wrong, Yoni. Sorry, continue.
Sir, I take offense. You may be right, but I take offense. Like, yes, we are shit, but we're Tampa Bay shit, which means we're probably some Trump.
Who's at home?
Like,
Who's at home?
Shit, but
It's in
worse.
Tampa. It is in Tampa.
All right, give me Tampa then.
Hell yeah, brother. Know who you
Oh
got?
wait. Oh yeah, it's Florida. It's a Florida Bowl. Ew.
Yeah.
A bunch of alligators come on the field and eat all the players.
All the rednecks with their American flag bikinis and the crowd just
all
pounding
the fans cheer. They're like, woohoo! Yeah.
Drinking Pink Whitney and Jack mixed together in the stands, just like
Red Dog.
Woo! Probably
Red Dog.
probably got featured on Live PD in Pasco County at some point in their lives.
Give me the Jags, and here's the reason. I don't believe in the Jags much, but I think the Buccaneers have fooled you into thinking that they're a good team because they're on top of their division. And I think this week we're going to see the sheer difference between an actually good team and the Bucs.
And with that, we're kicking Noam from the podcast. That's like, get the fuck out of here.
Freebie!
Get sent back to the lobby. Gear up for the next round. You're done. Oh man, yeah, you might.
You gotta clip that too.
We'll see. Cardinals, Bears. There's not much to play for here. Chicago.
Bears.
Cardinals.
Chicago hasn't been playing too badly recently.
No, they're better than the Cardinals, but I'm gonna take the Cardinals.
Big game of the week: Cowboys and Dolphins. I mean, this is a game. No, man, this is a choke bowl. It's going to end in a tie. Here's why: because the Cowboys can't play anybody on the road, and Miami can't play anyone with a winning record. It's an unmovable force versus an unstoppable force versus immovable object meeting each other, and it's going to end with a tie, with a 2020 tie.
But for you see, Isaac, little do you know that the Cowboys also cannot play anyone with a winning record. They have beaten 2 teams, and one was the Eagles, who just.
I actually like Miami just because they're at home and they have that advantage at home because that goddamn stadium build is ridiculous. How they have that sun beaming on the sideline of the other guys.
It's some bullshit, right? It's some bullshit.
It's brutal.
That Florida sun, and they only got 2 seasons down there. Summer, hot summer. Screwed out.
No, they have 3: summer, hot summer, and hell.
Hell, I forgot about hell. Yeah.
Yeah. That's when the hurricanes come through. Wrapping up on Sunday, we've got the Christmas Eve special on NFL Network. Patriots taking on the Broncos.
What the fuck?
Broncos country, let's ride. Why is this a primetime game?
Yeah, what the fuck?
God,
shit game.
The NFL really did not realize.
Who cares about this game? No, give me the Broncos, but I mean the Patriots are probably gonna be a little scrappy.
I've talked a lot this year about how bad the primetime games are and how the NFL isn't flexing them like they said they would. I really think the owners. I really think the owners
still like before the season. Who decided that this was a goddamn primetime game?
It didn't look like it would have been from last year's, anyways. I have no idea who thought of this. It's got to be some deal with Kraft or something. Like I don't understand what else.
I'm convinced that the owners are holding a gun to the TV executives saying you're going to put our teams on
Florida Bowl this week than this trash.
You know I will. Christmas Day games. We got 3 kicking off. Raiders, Chiefs. You know I'm going to be watching with the fam because we're all Chiefs fans in my mom's apartment. Give me the Chiefs.
Yeah, give me the Chiefs.
Just don't throw it to Kadarius Toney. For the love of God, do not throw the ball to Kadarius Toney.
I know I should take the Chiefs because they're so much better.
Do you want to get removed again? Mr. President, my finger is on the button. You just give the word.
Okay, hold on. Wait. All right. The Chiefs.
The terrorist is attempting to
definitely
negotiate.
Going to lose to the Raiders. Give me the Raiders.
Oh, well, there we go. Okay, well, he has been sent back to the lobby and brought back. Giants, Eagles. Calvin, I think you are.
Calvin, I think you. In one episode, man.
Calvin, I think you already made your point on this one. And actually, I'm going to agree with him. The Giants, I think, are going to shock the world. Give me a Christmas Day. Give me a Christmas Day upset for the ages as Tommy Cutlets and the Giants take down the Eagles. And
I'm rocking with the Giants.
I will feast on Kylie's tears. It'll be delicious.
There is no way the Eagles are losing in Philadelphia to their little brother, which is the Giants.
I'm rocking with the Giants.
Eagles.
It's going to be hilarious.
Yes, Eagles.
Finally, the final game of the day. What could be the game of the year? Number 1 versus number 2.
Oh, no.
Ravens,
Oh, Lord.
Niners. I am going to take San Francisco to win this one because
levels.
it's hard. I want to say the line, but I can't. I have to take San Francisco just because the Niners are unstoppable.
Oh, this might be the 1 week he can't say the line.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hurting him. It's causing him physical pain. He has to say it.
I'll say this.
To be fair, the line is still correct.
I'll
but
say
it
this
doesn't
much:
mean that you
this
have
is
to take
going
them
to
to win.
be the game of the year
Doesn't
because
mean they
these
don't have
two
a chance.
teams are going to kill each other on the field.
Look at 40. Oh my god.
Oh, he's going through physical
It's hurting
pain.
him.
I can't go against my guy, man.
But wait, hold on. You can choose. You can still say the line, and it doesn't mean that they're gonna win. It just means they have a chance. Technically, that's the line. So you can still say it and take the Niners if you want.
So here's the thing. Due to I know that it's hard to beat a team twice in the Super Bowl, I'm thinking into the future, and I think that these two teams are going to be in the Super Bowl, and I think that the Ravens win the Super Bowl. I'm going to go with San Francisco this week, only because of my future take.
Okay.
You said that. I knocked on wood, and my dog barked from outside the room.
So I'm not going to say the line this week. Everyone that tunes in to BPS Sports, you know what the line is.
They got it memorized by heart.
I think it hurts me not to say it, and I hate to go against my guy, but I can't say the line this week. I hope he proves me wrong and he comes out with a W, but I'm going with San Francisco.
My stress levels.
Oh, say the line, though. Come on, say the line.
As long as 8's on the field, they have a chance. I don't know, man. I really don't. Oh, because
the San Fran team is so good.
They're in a caliber they're on. So other good teams that have played the 49ers, okay? Cowboys 40-3 got whooped. Apps just destroyed. All right. Eagles 49-17 or some crap like that. Nobody could stop the double Debos, you know? I don't think we're gonna have that problem because we have better linebackers. Roquan and Patrick are better, so it's like Debo over the middle is not gonna be as big. Like we can probably tackle him, but they're just so good. They're just so like top to bottom. 49ers are spectacular. I really hope the Ravens beat them. I gotta take my team, man. I gotta stand with them. I'm gonna take the Ravens to win. I'm gonna take the Ravens to win this and the Super Bowl. Hopefully.
As long as Ace on the field, you know.
Yes, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. And with that, that's the perfect time for us to close out today's episode of Beer Battered Sports. As always, this podcast is a proud member of the Fired Up Sports Podcast Network. Go check out all their other shows, including our friends over at Bell Smashers. Shout out Kylie. You can follow us on all of our socials at @bbsports_pod. Check out our x.com bio for merch. Sorry, check out our Twitter bio for merch. By the way, we might be dropping new merch soon. Just gonna point that out. We might be cooking on something for you guys. Some special holiday merch coming out to celebrate the new year.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for that. We will see you guys next week for our season finale before we head into the new year. Thank you guys so much for watching as always, and we will see you next time. Peace.